Welcome to Talk That Talk with James Johnson, where we don't just talk about it, we live it. Man, I'm excited today. My second episode, but my first guest. She's no stranger to the podcast world. She has a wonderful network, a great podcast called The Well, so definitely check her out. I guess I can call her, she my boss too, all right, because I am on her network, all right. I did used to be her youth pastor back in the days. We might get into that a little bit, but I am so excited to interview this young lady that's on a journey that I believe is very, very powerful. So without further ado, my first guest, my friend, my sister, the awesome, just temporary, Drew Henry.
Hey.
What's going on, Drew?
Hi.
Man, this is a long time coming.
I know it is. It's been a journey for sure.
Definitely. I am so excited to be on this journey with you. And I got a few questions that we're going to get into today, but just want to know how you feeling.
I'm excited. Like you said, it's been a long time coming, so I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that you're starting your podcast. It's my second one under the Well Network, so it's exciting. You know it.
All right.
Exciting.
This is the best one, though. Just wanted to let y'all know that. All right, just playing. Just playing. Well, hey, I got an agenda today. I just want to let you know that.
Okay.
All right. So
I know you do.
And so I want to make sure that our listeners are encouraged, inspired, and I promise you, and you can go on her Well Network. I think she's told a little bit of her story, but I'm gonna dig a little deeper. I'm gonna get into my Oprah Winfrey this morning for everybody. So here's my first question to the awesome Drew Henry, and we gonna jump around a little bit, but you're gonna understand the direction that we're going. In your early 20s, many are still searching, but you're already building. You got a business, you got a fiance, you know what I'm saying? How did you discern God's voice defining your purpose clearly?
Well, it was birthed through my relationship with him. Like having a relationship with God at an early age really impacted my purpose and the vision that he's given to me. And if I'm being honest, it was something that I didn't really want to do. It's something that made me uncomfortable to think about. And I find that oftentimes God uses those uncomfortable places and situations to make us into who he's called us to be. So it really just was about my relationship with God. Growing that intimacy with him was kind of the foundation for being able to discern his voice. Knowing his word is what it was.
Now you said at an early age. How early was that?
I got saved when I was 8. And I started ministry at 13.
13. Wow. Mm-hmm. Now, the environment you came from, your mom's a minister too as well.
She is, yes.
Did that influence you a little bit?
It did. She's my role model. I look up to her. I saw her, going to meetings, staying after church. We were there 2 services some days, Wednesday night Bible studies, seeing her preach and teach. I was around a lot of that. And so seeing that, the environment, I would say, helped shape me too. You are who you hang around, and it definitely impacted me.
Real quick side question. I love you telling me that. Did you find a relationship with God first, or did you understand how to maneuver in church first? Which one came first?
That's a good question. I would say I learned how to maneuver in church first. And I think the development of the relationship with God, the intimacy with him, came a little bit later.
Wow. How would you say how later?
17.
17. Oh, a lot happened between 8 and 17.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that a little later. Okay. What was the yes that changed everything for you when you started the Well Network, and what did it cost you personally?
I remember being a teenager, and right after high school, so 2017, YouTube was really popping back then. Everybody wanted a YouTube channel. There was like this trend of like vlogs and these couples, and they would make, prank videos, and it would just go viral. So I remember like really wanting to create content because that was all I consumed. And I was like, I could see myself doing something like this. And there was this couple that I used to watch, Chris and Queen. And I was really into them, specifically Queen. I really admired her, looked up to her. And I remember as she was growing, she was doing promotions on her Instagram. And I think at that time she had like 700,000 followers. And so I took a chance and I was like, I doubt she's going to see this, but I'm going to reach out anyways. I DM'd her. I commented on a picture and I said, hey, Queen, check your DM. She checked it. She gave me her phone number. She called me. My dad invested, I think it was like $300 to get her to promote me. So she promotes me on her page like 3 times. And I remember like the first time she promoted me, it was like my phone started blowing up. It was like follow after follow after follow. I was making content at that time, but it wasn't content that was anything related to like faith. It was more
this
so
was
like
makeup one stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it was like makeup, little vlogs here and there. Some faith was mixed in there. But I was really just posting what I wanted to post. And that exposure like frightened me.
Really?
It terrified me. And I remember being like, because I was getting DMs from girls like, oh my gosh, I had shared a story on my page about like grief and loss that I had went through at that age. Oh my gosh, like I love you so much. Like your videos inspire me. You're my role model, all like flooded. And it terrified me. And I remember being like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, I can't. I'm not ready for this like level of exposure right now. Because I knew, and going to your second part of the question, like what it would cost me and what it has cost me is the control that I have over vulnerability and the control that I felt like I had over my testimony and how I didn't want certain things to like get out, or I didn't want to share certain parts of myself because that aspect of vulnerability is really uncomfortable for me. And so I guess you can say that's what it has cost me, is like that level of control. And the turning point for me was just being so discontent with life and knowing like, Drew, you're created for so much more than where you're at right now. And I would have people coming up to me like, you don't even know the gift you have. You don't know the gift you have. You don't even see it. Like, and I just be like, yeah, I don't. Like, I really don't. But I knew I was created for more. And I was just like, I keep running because I'm scared. And I need to just surrender that to the Lord. And I think when I did that, that was the turning point.
Man, that's a very powerful story. Would you say the scare part too, maybe being judged?
Yeah. Caring about what other people think, being a people pleaser, not feeling like I'm qualified. There's a lot of insecurity there.
Wow. And I remember I came into you, I think your early teens as your youth pastor, and I was blown away on how you love God. Yeah. I was just like, this is not normal. And so you probably heard that all your life, that there's a calling on your life. There's a purpose. God has something special for you. Probably people prophesize to you and things of that nature as a young age to now. What would you say to younger Drew that was getting all that praise and all those different things? What would you say to her if you had a chance to sit down to the younger Drew? I
would tell her to just let God cook. Let him cook. You don't have to like try to make these things happen. That's where I think my struggles were. Like I would hear someone prophesy to me and then I felt like I had to make that thing happen, versus like, this is what God has spoken over your life and it will be, because God is not a man that he should lie. You don't have to work for the fulfillment of this promise. You can just rest, take your steps and have a relationship with God, because he orders those steps. When you have your intimacy with him, when you're growing in your relationship with him, you don't have to worry about, am I going to make it to this point? Am I going to get here? Am I going to reach this? Because he's ordering your steps. So I would just tell her to let him cook.
Let him cook.
Let him cook.
She probably wouldn't know what that means back in them days.
No, probably not. But.
All right. Here's the next question. As a young woman leading a platform like The Well, how do you stay rooted in humility while carrying influence?
Yeah. This is something that I haven't really like discussed in depth. If you know me, you know, like I struggle with this a little bit, but the humility aspect comes from my own limitations, I would say. I was recently diagnosed ADHD as an adult, and I'm currently in the process of being screened for autism. And this is something that has impacted the way that I process, the way that I show up and how I lead, the way that I handle pressure. And so it's like this constant reminder. Paul, I don't remember where he talks about this, but somewhere in the word, he discusses like this thorn in his side. And I won't compare like this to like anything Paul and the suffering he experienced, but it is like a mild thorn because it reminds me of my need for God, because my brain doesn't work the way other people's brain does. And so it keeps me dependent. It keeps me surrendered. And it's humbling. It's a little thorn in my side. It keeps me humble.
I think most leaders and creative people, well, some people would think that we all have ADHD, or even because we think differently and we see things differently than the average person. Not saying that we're better, but we just see things a little bit different. So we will talk about that a little bit later. Okay. What problem did you see in this generation that made you say something has to be built? And how is the well answering that call? Talk to me.
Yeah. My generation was and is still just searching. They want the truth, and they're hungry for it, and they want to be in an environment where they can just be fed just that. And
explain. Give me, no. We're not gonna bypass that real quick. Explain. They just want to be fed just that.
They just want Christ. They just want the word without anything extra.
I need an example. Don't bypass this. We want to keep it real here.
You don't see a lot of my generation going to the church. You don't see that anymore. It's like even some friendships that I have, they will not step foot in a church.
And why is that?
I think it has a lot to do with just hurt, and also the way that, you know, we see the church being portrayed right now, especially in like the world that we live in today. I think that we can do a better job as the body of Christ representing Christ in a better way, in truth. And I just think that they are hungry for it. Like, I remember getting to that place within myself too, where I was like, I am not vibing with church right now. And that's just full honesty. And it had nothing to do with anyone. Like, it was just my own personal, like, I'm not vibing with church. And I remember sitting, you know, on my floor one day, and I was like watching a podcast, and I was watching these like small groups on, you know, YouTube. And I was like, man, I'm getting fed in these like this type of environment, like on a podcast more than I am a sermon, in a small group on a Wednesday night more than I am church on Sunday. And so I just think that they were hungry, that they are hungry. They're searching for that. They're in need of that. Whether they realize it or not, some do. And the well is a space where they can receive that. The goal that, and the vision that was given to me, is to have just voices, like where people can come, and there's everything here. Business, there's entrepreneurship, there's faith, there's marriage, there's relation, like whatever you need, it's here for you to get fed and to feel full.
Man, I'm happy to be a part of that too. But let me go back. You said something, you mentioned the word hurt. Let me add a word in front of that, church hurt.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me in your own words, or give me a good definition of what you feel what church hurt is?
I would say church hurt is feeling let down by people in the church.
Okay. So it's not necessarily the church. It's people within the church.
Yes.
And let down. What would be an example of people in a church letting you down? Because the reason I'm going here, because I've seen many people on platforms be like, well, you ain't club hurt. You ain't this hurt.
Yeah.
They try to compare it to other things. But what makes church hurt different than being hurt in the streets or something? What happened to these people, or what these people did to let people down or be hurt in church? Give me an example.
Well, I think it's the expectation too, that we place on church. But I'll give you one of my stories. At my previous church, I remember like being in a really vulnerable place. This was like 2019.
Was we at the same church?
No.
Okay. All right.
This was not our church.
All right.
Make that clear.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah,
okay.
No. Not at all. Yeah, so I went to the altar for prayer, and I was in this moment with God, and I was like hearing him, and I was like crying my heart out, and I was receiving from him. And this woman tapped me on on my back, and she goes, "You need to go back to your seat." And mind you, I'm like mascara, like I'm just gone. Like I'm in the presence of the Lord. And she's like, "You need to go back to your seat." It was such and going back to like the question before, like that protectiveness over the vulnerability, like it's such a big thing for me. So when that was disrupted, it made me feel like, but like, why? You know, like I'm having this moment with the Lord. I'm receiving my breakthrough and my deliverance right now. And you're worried about the show?
Okay, keep going.
I think it's little things like that. People come to the church as a means of refuge and safety. And when you disrupt that and you disrupt them from the Lord because of an agenda or a program, they're not going to come back.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement to say. And I mean, people are doing debates on this online constantly. Of church hurt is not a real thing. Mm-hmm. And I think it is. And I think like what you said earlier about the expectation, nobody expects. I know for me, I've heard a leader explain church like a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, you're there to get served, and they're going to make sure everything looks nice and people are going to talk to you nice. But ministry is in the kitchen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's where all the yelling and all the different things. It's messy. It's messy. And I think for me, I had to realize that even people in leadership in church is just as messed up as I am. And people are going to make mistakes. Yeah. But at the same time, it doesn't seem authentic. Right. And so the show that you mentioned earlier is more important than healing people. Definitely. Okay, we're gonna get off that because I don't want
we could be there all day with that.
Yeah, I don't want too many enemies coming after me about this and stuff like that. So what does intimacy with God look like for you beyond the platform when nobody else is watching?
Yeah, I invite God into everything. My morning walks, I'm inviting the Lord. Really lately, truly, it's been gratitude is where I find the most like connectedness to God. Being grateful for the things that I have, for the love that flows from the people around me, everything that he's provided for me. And then there's like, you know, my quiet time. I'm a night owl, so I stay up really, really late. I have my routine, and that's where I hear the Lord. I go into my room after I'm done spending time with my sister. I open up my Bible and I just read it. I got to a place I used to be like, let me read it and let me take notes and this, that, and third. But lately it's been I'm just opening up this like a book and I'm just reading it as it is. And that's been really impactful for me.
Wow. Definitely studying your word. Like, what is your prayer life like? Like, if you can explain that to me a little bit for our listeners, what does your prayer life look like?
Yeah, I pray in the morning. I pray all day. And it's not like, I'm not like each time sitting down in a quiet place, but it's just like, Lord, I'm on my way to work. Help me with today. Or if I'm at work and the kids are driving me nuts, I'm like, Lord, please settle their minds. Like, it's just, I invite my prayers my prayers are in everything. So it's constant. Pray without ceasing is what the word says.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Now, many people don't know that, and this is where I met Drew when she was a praise dancer.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get her to post some videos on her platform and everything of her.
Yeah.
And I have videos too.
Yes.
I have videos too.
You do.
As a praise dancer, how has movement become a language between you and God? And what do people often misunderstand about worship through dance?
Yeah. Dance, when I look back on it, when I was praise dancing, I think it was like really a training ground for what God was going to later call me to. You turn on a song and the lyrics are there and you're able to express yourself through the dance. You're using your whole body. And one thing I struggled with growing up, and still sometimes to this day, was like knowing how to express myself and my emotions. Okay, what am I feeling? That was hard for me to give language to. But like the song provided language for my emotions, and like anyone that, watches a praise dance, you should be able to see like their heart. Like you're ministering, you're storytelling. And I think oftentimes like people misunderstand the fact that it's not just a dance.
Okay.
But like, this is ministry. When you look out and you're dancing, there are people that you are before, and they are carrying burdens. Their soul wounds that are there. And it's not easy. I mean, I can teach you how to dance. I can teach skill, but I can't manufacture the presence of God. And you have to be able.
Hold on. You just said a whole mouth. You said you could teach skill. You could teach somebody how to dance, but you can't what?
You can't manufacture the presence of God.
But I see people try to do that all the time.
They do.
Okay.
The anointing is not something that can be taught. It's something that is birthed out of relationship with God.
She's shooting.
It will be, if you look at someone who has intimacy with the Lord and is, graced by God to do that, versus someone who's just dancing, there is a difference.
Yes, it is.
There is a huge difference. There were a lot of times when I was praise dancing where none of that was choreographed.
Really?
Majority of the time it was not choreographed. I knew the lyrics, I knew the beat, and I went up there and I just allowed God to move.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into praise dance? How was you introduced to this?
Yeah, my mom's really close friend, she's passed now, but she introduced me to praise dance. And I grew up dancing, like not just in church, but I was in like ballet classes and I was at Step 1 doing hip hop. So when I saw dance in church, I remember the first time I came to church with my mom, one of the first, I saw Minister Cynthia and she was praise dancing and I was just captivated. And I told my mom, I want to do that. And so I got hooked up with her and then she taught me. And I learned from her and she taught me everything I know just about like, not necessarily like choreography and dance, although she did do those things, but like the formality of it and like that it is ministry and the importance and the reverence that you need to carry with you when you are dancing and ministering before people.
Powerful. Oh man, I wish we had more time to go in depth on this real quick. But we don't. But I'm gonna move on, and I got a couple of things, and I'm gonna end this because we're gonna do 2 parts of this episode real quick. I want to play a quick word game with you real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna say a word, and I want you to kind of give me not necessarily a definition, but how's that word make you feel? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is off the cuff. All
like
right.
Emotion wise,
okay. What pops in your head and everything like that. So first word is purpose.
I think of vision, being able to see clear. It's just vision.
Vision?
Yeah.
Got it. Would you see your generation or people that you grew up with, do you think do they move with purpose or do they just move in emotion? What do you think?
I think they want to move with purpose. I think it's a challenge. I think in my generation, we're missing the Lord. And that is the foundation for your calling and your purpose. And so when you don't have that, it's a lot harder because we walk by faith and not by sight. And when you look at what's around right now and how times are hard, you would think that it's impossible to do the things that you want to do. But when you have faith, God will open up doors for you.
Definitely, definitely. Okay. Leadership.
I think of strength. That's the first thing that came to my mind is like strong, like a muscle, strong.
When you think of leadership, what person pops in your head? You can't say Jesus or God. All right.
I think of my dad.
My man. My man, Mr. Mark. Okay. Why you say that?
He's a leader, like a strong leader, leader of the house, leader at his job. He, I'll shout him out. He just got a loan officer, top loan officer in the country. He's about to get an award for it. He manages his teams. He's led, raising kids that aren't his own. He's a strong leader.
Man, the one thing I like about your dad, shout out to Mark Henry, man. He's one of those guys I like to say solid. Like, this is who I am.
Yep.
This is it. He from LA.
Take it or leave
it. Solid, genuine dude, man. I remember he was a deacon at the other church. And most deacons are solid dudes, man. So shout out to Mark Henry, her dad. Next word, parents.
Parents. That's so interesting. I went like myself and then I went to my mom and my dad.
Okay.
When I think of parents, I think of just guidance, counsel. They are like the foundation of who you become. They help you grow.
Definitely. It's so funny. I see both of your parents in you.
Yeah.
And everything. And her, I just want to let y'all know her fiance's in here in the studio too, Jacob. And so I'm sure he likes the mother one.
He told me today, he was like, you look like your mom.
Definitely. Okay. What about money?
Money. I don't know. I just think the first thing that came to my mind is wealth. Like having money is important to be able to do the things you want to do.
Got it. What would you say the biggest money lessons you've learned since you've been on Earth?
Oh, I am a big saver. I don't buy things I probably need when I need them. I will hold on to money. But I will say faith without works is dead, especially when it came to my vision and my purpose. And so making those investments was important. And I can remember there being a time God told me to do something. And I did it. And I ended up with a lot of money in my bank account. And it's just, it went to show that God isn't, limited by your circumstance, but there are ways that he can get you what you need. Money is one of those things that, although I do budget, I don't typically worry about as much. If I'm working, or I know God's going to provide. I've seen him provide in that area of my life.
Nice. Children.
Excitement. That's what comes to my mind. I am excited to have kids one day.
Y'all excited to have
kids?
Yes,
I am.
How many?
I think I always tell him, I'm like, we're going to see how I feel after one.
Okay.
But I think the max is 3.
Wow, you heard it here. All right. She said 3. All right. So, all right. Hey, church.
I think of our church. I think of our pastor.
Shout out to Pastor Jeffrey Johnson.
To Pastor Jeff.
The second First Lady O. All right. What's their podcast called again?
Unscripted Journey.
Unscripted Journey.
Yes.
We're going to have them on here too pretty soon. Oh, man. Amen. Marriage.
I think of my fiance. I think of this year. It's a big year. Getting married. I see pictures. When you say these words, I'm just seeing images, the ring, the wedding day. I think of my dress. Yeah.
What is probably the number one thing you excited about while getting married?
I'm excited to be in our own space and to build our own traditions and our own routines. We're really big on having routine and having structure. And so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about tradition as well, like family stuff.
Got it. What's one thing when you guys started dating that you liked about Jacob?
I liked that he was really kind.
Yes, yes.
He's a very kind, very, very kind man.
We're gonna have to get you on here, Jacob, man. Hey,
Yeah.
definitely. Music.
I think of my favorite music, old school tunes, worship music.
Got it. When Drew wanna be by herself, when she in the car driving, and let's just say you had a bad day, what song or artist you put on?
Right now, it's been Olivia Dean.
Okay.
I love me some Olivia Dean.
Okay. What about when you're feeling good? Like say you you about to go out of town, you and Jacob maybe gonna hang out. Like what's a song that you like to play all the time?
Geez, there's so many. You gonna laugh. But my favorite song that I like to listen to when I feel good is Saturday Love.
Oh, Saturday Love.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yes.
Alexander O'Neal.
Yes.
You know what? That song is so very interesting. When my mom had me when I was young, on Saturdays, that would determine what kind of Friday she had.
Really?
Oh yeah. If that song came on, we getting pancakes. Man,
I love that.
It was all good. But if that song come on, she got us cleaning up the house. It's all bad. It's all bad. Hey man,
I love that song.
Man, I'm so excited on this journey that we're doing. I'm going to end this this episode on that. We can continue this next week, can we? Okay, definitely. We're gonna have a part 2 with Drew Henry. Hey, you guys, this is more than the podcast. This is a place of transformation. Don't forget to subscribe and share with somebody that you feel might be stuck. And like I say all the time, it may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. Thank you.